Good evening, family. Thank you all for tuning in. As promised, we are in the studio tonight. I wouldn't call it a lighthearted subject, but a subject that we all probably have been talking about and been seeing all over the news. I wanted to ensure that this evening went to officers' quarters memories. Again, that's the officer that was gunned down in ambush a few days ago. And we, like I said, we've been seeing this all across all kind of basically all news platforms. I even saw it on national news as well, because it's made pretty big headlines. So we wanted to just discuss that this evening. I want to start off with a clip we're going to play in regards to that incident. We ready? No, we're not ready yet? Okay, we're not ready for that clip yet. We're going to play something to start everything off, but we're getting that together now. So everyone tap in. Question tonight is, what are your feelings on what happened? Do we also feel that, well, I should say, what do we feel about community policing in our black community? Do we feel like we're over-policed, under-policed, not policed enough? Is it a fair balance? Has it gotten worse? Has it gotten better? Where do we feel that we are, specifically in policing in our community? I can start it off by just saying, I know for a fact, I grew up on 24th in Capitol. Growing up there, and I remember always the police growing up were a vital part of the community. They always would come around giving out baseball cards, and they were just this presence there, and I didn't feel afraid of or feel that they were unwelcome in our neighborhood. I felt growing up safe, comforted to know, and I guess too it takes a certain type of person to be an officer, because you have to, 80% of your job, 90% of your job, you're seeing people at their worst. And it takes a strong mental person to do this job day in, day out, because as we saw, some days, when you put on that uniform, you may not make it home that night. And it's a seriously dangerous job. You may not make it home that night. So you have to have a special mentality to deal with that, because you're under a lot of pressure, you're under a lot of stress day in and day out. Again, you're helping people, you're seeing people at their worst. You can't really put into words what a day in officer really looks like, because it's different. One day, you could be tasked with just going around patrolling the area, just saying hi to folks, and the next day you're out in a shootout, or the night before you go home. It just, you never can really tell. So to put that uniform on, that badge on, and go out day in, day out, and try to do what you were called and what you swore to do, and that was protect and serve, that's a lot. And I can say from experience that I was on the police department about 3.5 years myself here in MPD. And I've met a lot of wonderful officers. A lot of us from our class are still on, so they got, I think this year we will be celebrating 21 years on the force. Those of my friends and family members that are on now still. And doesn't a day go by that I don't pray for them. Especially when I hear an officer involved shooting, my anxiety goes up to 100, because one thing I did not want to hear or want to hear is that it was one of my friends or family members that have perished. And hearing about Officer Corder, and then finding out that we actually grew up together 3 houses down each other on 24th Street in Capitol. So just hearing that just sent me to another place. It's like, oh man, a person, and just to hear in the way in which it happened was just horrible. But like I said, to put that uniform on, put that badge on, and go out day in and day out and protect folks, and try to protect people that don't like you, and that's a well-known fact. And that's why I posed that question. Hope somebody can give us an answer as to, where are we? What do we feel that we are under-policed, over-policed in our communities? What makes the black community have this feeling towards police. I know some of it because of the interactions and things that we've seen before, and you've seen, I say, goes all the way back to the 90s with the Rodney King beatings. You see police doing things, behaving in manners in which they should not be behaving, and then, you know, you have, like you said, one bad apple spoils a bunch. Or you have one incident, and then they put that label on all police officers. But like I said, I know a ton of officers that really took the job for what it was designed for, and that was to protect and serve people. My godfather was on MPD for 26 years. Said he only drew his gun maybe twice in that span of 26 years. So that just says something.
Why is everyone using ninja transfers?
Ninja transfers is definitely killing them. The quality, I mean, the design came out crisp.
I hit up my boys at Ninja Transfers, and yes, they do send you single packs, so no minimum, very cheap, very fast, and like I said, makes the job a lot easier.
Like, I mean, you can't even...
The representation of black officers on the job, I think that does a lot to help ease some of those tensions. It should, because we always said we want representation, but we have it. And if y'all didn't go to Juneteenth, you would have seen a lot. I didn't realize how many black officers are on MPD now myself, even though when I was on at the time, there weren't as many. But I just to see it, even on the sheriff's department, I was like, wow, that was great to see, because I really believe that when you have that kind of representation in that sort of role, you can do wonders. And that was one of the reasons why I had wanted to become an officer, because I wanted to affect change. I wanted to help my community. And that's just my personality. I'm a helpful guy. But God had other plans, and that's not what I ended up doing when it all boiled down. But
I actually
I think
dropped the link in the chat.
You did? Okay.
I did.
Okay.
So they can click on that, because it didn't allow me to download it.
It didn't? Okay.
Through YouTube.
Okay.
I did drop it in the chat, so people can, maybe you want to talk about it.
Okay. Yep. So there is a link there in our chat. If you guys want to click on it, it's just, again, just going over the charges that was just filed, and it kind of briefly talked about the incident and what happened. And I think that's with Officer Quarter's partner too. They mentioned about how cops that responded came up, and Officer Quarter's partner, which was Officer McCrae, they found him laying on top of Officer Quarter trying to protect him. You know, so that just shows you the selflessness that a lot of the officers have. I mean, you have to have it, I think, to be an officer, to do that job. To put you're not putting yourself on the line just for the community. He put himself on the line for his own partner. You know, he didn't know, if other shots were going to be ringing out. All he did was instinctively he saw his partner there laying down. He just laid on top of him to make sure, to try to protect him. That just goes to show you that not all officers are bad. And I hate that people have these bad interactions that label all officers, that's bad. I just really believe that with more representation and more positive interaction that the police department can have with our communities, I really believe that hopefully will ease some of the tensions. So Tay, what do you say? What do you think?
I'd say, what do you think?
Yeah, what you think?
I think it was very unfortunate, considering that he was off work, and he picked up that shift.
Mm-hmm.
But he signed up for that job, yeah, I know. But that was a bit hard to take in. It was the piece about the ambush and then them robbing the chief, right? Attempting to rob the chief?
Yeah, the chief's house was attempted to be broken into just recently. Yeah.
Do you think
recently.
something else is going to unfold after that? Come out of that?
I don't think so, because I think the previous chief, which was Morales, he had something similar happen to him too. Mm-hmm. So I think, honestly, with that, it was just bad timing. Mm-hmm. Bad timing. I don't think
that happening. So what do you feel about that? So with them having something like that happen previously, and then something happening similar, why when they send additional
squads to the house? I don't know.
Hey, we take a different protocol.
They might have officers sit on the chief's house. I really don't know.
On the house, but maybe a different type of protocol with situations like that, because I would think they would be a bit more critical.
Yeah, you would think so. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one. I'm not sure. It does seem quite odd. Like you said, this has happened to two different chiefs.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, it does seem really odd. So I don't know. Yeah, one would think that they would have some better procedures in line or up, because that's two separate guys. I don't know.
Just with it being such a high alert, you know what I mean? Like if you said the chief house is getting broken into, I get he's not bigger than any regular citizen or resident,
Right.
but I would think maybe it'd be some type of sense of urgency. You know what I mean? Like a different level of protocol. Because I would think it would be a bit more extreme. Like, why was he targeted?
Why was his house? Honestly, with that, because I haven't even heard anything else in regards to that. I think it was just you picked the wrong house.
You think they picked it, or do you think it was premeditated, or you think they just picked the wrong house?
No, I think he just picked the wrong house. The man was like 67 years old, like old as dirt. I'm just saying, you just old.
Hey, I'm not trying to be like a conspiracy theory or
Right.
anything like that, but like what? I don't know.
As Mayor Cavalier said, you're too damn old. He was older. I just think he picked the wrong house.
What house was that again? What area was that again?
They didn't never say. They didn't say. They didn't put it out there, but they kept the post that I saw, which was from the Journal Sentinel, just kept alluding that the house that was broken into was listed to Chief Norman. So, yeah.
I guess I think that just kind of hit different. Like why? Well, I don't want to say this, but like sometimes I think that we think that a lot of extra stuff isn't going on. Like in regards to maybe there was some foul play.
I mean, I don't rule out too much of nothing. I mean, like I said, I got a law enforcement background, so
Because they picked those people
get
up
it.
pretty fast. They were able to get in contact with those people pretty fast.
So I don't know if, like I said,
There was
cameras
more than one person that were
in the house.
more than one person that were picked up.
What you talking about? What you talking about?
As far as like that the charges, there was more than one person.
Oh yes, yeah. It was two others now, so it's 3 total, right?
So
Yeah.
to tell me that neither one of them knew that was some type of police activity, the chief.
I don't know. I know it's kind of hard to say like nothing, but it does make one think like, okay, what's really going on?
Yeah, a commenter said, "Hey, Krisha, why did he say they were there again?"
Who?
I guess the robber. Why did they say they were there? I'm not all the way familiar.
Me neither, because it was just they haven't made a whole lot of comments about it. You haven't heard anything else about it. I can't tell you. I don't know. I didn't even heard anything else other than the person was in custody, and that was it. I ain't heard nothing. Excuse me, nothing else about the investigation or nothing. So I don't know.
So how does that work when something's happening and all the community is a bit like frightened? You know what I mean? Like 'cause if they'll do that to the chief, the neighbors have got to be like, oh God, you know?
Oh, I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it.
What do you feel about that when they kind of are super discreet about the details?
And I don't know, it's because of the chiefs, because there's a chief involved, because it's his house. They don't want to put all the information out there. I am not sure. I don't know why they are being kind of coy about it. And if I can recall, when this happened to Chief Morales, Alfonso Morales, it was kind of kept quiet too. So again, I'm gonna just assume, and I hate to assume on these kind of things, but I'm gonna just assume because it's a public figure, they probably don't want to just put all the information out there and doing things internally for whatever reason.
Okay, so I guess we can wrap back around when they give more details.
Yeah.
But what do you feel about the Diddy case?
How we go from Officer Porter to Diddy?
Something that you know more details about, and that you probably have more.
I've been following a little bit about it. So I already knew they probably weren't going to find him guilty of everything. To me, the federal prosecution, only showed that he was a freakazoid to the 10th power. That's just me. And they're.
You said it only showed that he was a freak.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really do believe that. I don't think they showed criminality there. You have, when you get in that kind of life within the entertainment business, you have stars paying for women to get, as they call it, flowed out all the time. That's a regular occurrence. But then you have to look at when they're trying to get criminal charges there. I just don't believe they showed criminality. Now he got found guilty on what was it, the trafficking?
He got found guilty on transporting, not
Right.
trafficking. No,
Right.
Not trafficking.
Not actual trafficking, but transporting.
Transporting.
So my thing with that is, okay, that's the part where the flowing out part comes at. Okay, so what I would love to read as like the actual criminal complaint that they got, like that, the actual investigation part of it, because I want to know how did they get to find him guilty of that? Like what are they saying he actually did?
Well, they're saying that he was kind of just transported. I'm laughing because my ex was like, I transported you a lot of times.
Oh no! Oh no!
Well,
No.
that's what everybody's coming to the conclusion. Like, I've flown out a lot of action. You know what I mean? Like, if you flown your lady out, were you a part of traffic?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, I knew they weren't gonna find him guilty of everything.
You knew that because of the.
Well, because I'm in law enforcement and I was an officer of the court, and I'm like, I'm hearing what they're.
No, I'm saying, do you feel like that because of what actually happened, or do you feel like he was gonna be found guilty because he got money because he's rich?
I found that he was gonna find not guilty because of they didn't show burden of proof.
Okay.
That's why. And then like I said, I was an officer of the court for many years, and I'm listening to what they're charging him with, and I'm like, and then I'm listening to the evidence as it gets leaked out here and there, because it's federal, so it's not televised. And so I'm listening, I'm like, that that don't sound criminal. I mean, it sounds very, very perverted, but
that's the topic.
criminal.
That's Ashley Parker. Thank you for your update.
What'd she say?
She was speaking in regards to the incident with the shooting with the officer.
Oh yeah.
She kind of gave an update on there, a brief update as to what happened. And then as for the topic right now, she said, as for Diddy, Cassie was paying the sex worker, so she wasn't held as a hostage. She was a part of the fix. So do you guys think that kind of happened that way because they were accepting money?
Yeah,
Would
because
they not accept money? Would it not be like the willing? It became willing because they got paid?
right, and then you got the cohesion part of which they didn't prove is okay. If you don't do this, I'm not gonna pay for your hotel, your high,
Right. But he wasn't guilty for any of that.
Right. So that's why I said that they didn't. To me, they didn't. The federal prosecution side did not show or was able to prove criminality there. Just to say that he was a sick, freak human being. I mean, okay, it's a lot of sick people, perverted people out here.
I'm gonna say something to that. Krisha says, honestly, if you followed the trial, prosecution failed miserably trying to prove that he was guilty. I knew he was gonna get off as well. And then Ashley Parker also said that Daphne was a grown 36-year-old woman, 50 cent BM, who was willing, getting her rent paid for exchange for sex. That's the sad part, because if you're poor and you're taking these things,
Yes.
they perceive it as you were willing and you knew. But what about being poor and on this survival?
And now you've introduced me into this life. So now I'm going in here with my eyes buck. Like I ain't never seen $10,000. I ain't never seen $20,000. I ain't never seen no $100,000 apartment. You know what I'm saying?
What about those relationships where, not even just the relationship, like romantic relationship, but what about those people that do drugs and they convince other people to do drugs? Do you charge? We've never seen anyone charge.
No, I mean that's
they friends some of their drugs.
I mean that's called self. What is it called? Self-will.
This could be the same
You know,
thing.
it could be.
Hey, you can make a lot of money stripping. You can make a lot of money prostituting.
I mean, they do make a lot of money
No,
stripping.
but I'm saying that. So we've never seen a person be prosecuted for telling a friend an easy hustle
True.
or an easy high. So why would Diddy, I guess that's what they're saying, why would Diddy be prosecuted for being freaky?
And honestly, that's all they kept showing. I believe though, because of who he was, who he is, black man, powerful, money, you got it all. We finna humble you.
I saw something like that. He was trying to sue a liquor company and a couple other people,
Oh,
and they were kind of trying to get him out.
possible. I mean, people said that the reason why they did that to Bill Cosby because he was getting ready to buy NBC. I don't know how true that was.
Right.
But
and they wanted somebody's home. it was on some type of land.
Uh,
I saw that too.
P. Diddy's?
No.
Oh, Bill Cosby's? Oh.
Their land was on, their home was on some type of land that whatever company wanted to buy.
I mean, I don't shy away from looking into things like that because I do see it very probable. I mean, I look at any person, any black person of means that's trying to come up and do things are easily shut down, quickly. You see anybody coming, if you just look, see anybody coming to prominence, and that's black, and it's a black man, they throw everything they can to try to halt that. So I'm not saying that Diddy is not guilty of those things, but for what they were trying to do, nah, why?
So do you think there's levels to being a freak?
Yeah.
So do you think
And he was on level 20.
What do you think that he's wrong for being on level 20?
No. My godfather always said this. You can't deny nobody they freak. If that's what he liked in his bedroom, man, have at it. That's on you. But I think where it started getting, you follow that gray area is that now you beating up people, your girlfriend, beat her up, and you got the violence part to it. You threatening people, and then that's when it starts to take on another life of its own.
You said that Diddy started giving his old artists their royalties.
He started giving old artists
their royalties. You
okay.
know how somebody kind of backtracks
Oh.
so they don't want you to tell?
Okay. And then that was that made to keep people quiet, I guess?
Possibly. Allegedly, right? But we can't say for
I can see that. I mean, you can't be. I mean, the man liked what he liked. What are we gonna do to that? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just go back to what I said before. You can't deny nobody they freak. If that's the stuff he liked, that's what he liked. I don't think a person should be prosecuted for it. And I really do think the charges were kind of far-reaching. A RICO charge.
Well, that was President.
But that went along with what they were charging him for originally. That went along with the whole case. And that was going to be hard to prove in itself. So I really do believe with Diddy, man, yeah,
Ashley Parker said she thinks it was a waste of a trial.
Yeah, I would say that because again, he only got found guilty of those two charges. I think they hold a maximum of 10 years.
Oh, you think he could go to jail?
Possible, but
stay in jail?
but I mean he's
probation and house arrest.
Something like that. Again, he I haven't known him to be in prison, so I think he would be considered a first time
I would be interested to
offender.
See the list of people that he was transporting to.
Mm-hmm. And it probably wasn't him too. He probably had, people. Diddy ain't going out transporting nobody. Hey, y'all, go get old girl and bring her here. He ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? Probably to one of his freak offs.
No, I'm saying I would love to see the list of the people he was.
The list? Oh yeah, it's definitely a list. Yeah.
Trump, think your way on that orange wig?
Oh man, no. Trump was probably on. Trump was on the Epstein.
Epstein.
Yeah, Epstein. He was definitely there. Uh oh.
No, Trump.
Yeah,
Trump is on.
yeah, he's definitely on Epstein's list. Definitely. And there's a bunch of folks that was on that list. And there's folks that was on Diddy's list too, though. Because remember, the freak stuff didn't happen till after the white parties. That's when the freak off started. Like after, like Jamie Foxx said it. After 9, 10 o'clock, that's why he said, I'm out. Because people knew what was going on.
Because you go to church and your mama watching, I'm not going to force you to be a part of this conversation.
Well, go ahead.
I'm not.
Go ahead, just say it. My mama know me. She know her son.
I don't know.
Go ahead, ask the question.
So I don't want to do that.
Huh?
I don't want to do that.
Oh, okay.
But, we can move on to another topic.
Okay, what we moving on to? What's
Moving
next?
on.
What's next?
I would like to
We
talk
freestyling
about,
tonight.
We are. I would like to talk about the big, beautiful bill.
Oh, God. It's gonna hurt a lot of
He's
folks.
skating.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt a lot of people. I was gonna pull it up. I had it pulled up. On my little news app,
Like
smart
when
news
that
app.
Ashley Parker says she thinks it'll be probably about a year under, but we'll find out the outcome soon.
What did he?
Christian says she's agreed. Yeah,
Okay.
there's just too many people involved in that Diddy thing.
Oh yeah, it go. It's got layers. It's got layers.
But that big beautiful bill.
First of all, let me say this: you're stupid. And I say stupid because who talks like that? First and foremost, big beautiful bill. Okay, so unless you are a millionaire, you will be caught up in all of this mess. It's going to take from Medicaid. It is going to take from SNAP benefits, which not just black people, but all people benefit from, especially your Medicaid. I hear some of the, when I listened to the news this morning, some of the Medicaid cuts will vastly cut folks that are in nursing homes. Our grandparents, our mothers, our fathers, seniors. You know, and then y'all want to talk this big talk about, you know, we care about these people, these care about this group of people, but you do nothing when you get in office to take care of this group. Like, why are they attacking Medicaid? Why is that such a big thing? I'm gonna tell you why. It's because of the Affordable Health Care Act. They've been trying to gut that and do away with that ever since the Obama administration, not Obama, but the Obama administration passed that. And I can't see now. I can't find what I was looking for on my smart app. Hold on, because it'll have on here. Yeah. So here it is. Drastic health cuts to Medicaid and Medicare, and it gives huge tax breaks for the ultra wealthy. And then we had a president with the Biden administration that tried to reverse all of that and make it easier for your middle class, your low income folks. But this bill it's ain't nothing beautiful about it. Like, it's nothing beautiful about it. I think the only thing it penalized millionaires for is that CEOs is that if you get fired from being a CEO, you can't claim unemployment. Ain't that nice? Yeah. So I'm reading about it. I got it pulled up here now. Yeah. So it's going to hurt a lot of folks. So folks, get ready, because if you read Project 2025, they talked about doing this very same thing, how they were going to do it, when they were going to do it, and how it was going to be implemented. So 2026 is going to be a year, because that's when all this is started, is going to be implemented. So, and then we're still under right now. We're still under the previous Trump's tax plan now, so that's going to be extended.
So Ashley Parker says, you know who took majority of the Medicaid funds?
Who?
Them illegals. And
No.
Medicaid. I could go on for days.
No.
They screw the elderly over our
No.
claims. Every day, Medicaid doesn't pay jack rabbit shit until a year later.
Ashley, that is false, and you know that illegal people are not taking your benefits. How can they get benefits? How do they get them? If you're illegal, how do you get Medicaid and Medicare? You can't. So that's a narrative that's been put out there. That's false.
She says she works in claims right now.
She works in claims. Okay. And what else? What is she saying? Me and Ashley go way back. Me and Ashley are high school
She
friends.
said you want to go toe for toe?
Tell her, come on now. What's she saying?
She just said you want to go toe for toe.
No, come on. Let's go.
She said they get it. I know that immigrants do get some type of health care, but I don't think it's taking away from everyday people. However, I do not work in the field, so she's saying she works in claims.
She works in what? Medicare claims or what? Claims is broad.
Just like Trump's project. She said just like Project 2025 is in Trump's plan.
No, it's not his plan. You're right, because he didn't write it, but his people that work in his administration wrote it. That is the Republicans' playbook.
Right.
So you're right, it wasn't his, but he certainly adopted it. He's certainly going down the list of it.
I don't even think it was the Republicans' playbook. I think that it was the white supremacists' playbook. And
Which
Trump
mostly are Republicans.
I won't say that.
I'm gonna say that because it's true.
I think that at some point there were Democrats and Republicans, and the Republicans just had a way of thinking, and it was different than the Democrats. I feel like Democrats feel like they are more everyday people, and they grew up in everyday situations. And I think a lot of Republicans were probably given things so they can't understand and relate to certain things, right?
I can see that.
You should be able to afford Medicare or whatever. You should be able to afford your insurance. That's not logical thinking.
No, it's not. But that's why I said, though, majority of white supremacists follow the Republican Party, though.
Yeah.
They do.
Right. But a lot of them want to be this whole minority, the superior, that comes from that. But I do believe that I think MAGA and Republicans are different.
What way? What way?
How many of them do you think would agree with him if they knew that he wasn't going to be like, he runs a dictatorship?
Yeah, he wants to. Yeah, he wants the country to be
dictatorship.
dictatorship.
To get away with so much, do you believe that so many would agree with him?
Yeah, they still
You
would.
still would?
Because it's a cult.
I don't believe that many would agree.
You don't think so?
Not if he didn't move the way he moved. I don't believe so. I would hope not.
I don't know. And again, this is that's what I just said. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I do believe that Trump is a platform for white supremacy here in this country, and I believe that's why so many of them are bowing down to him, are capitulating to him, following behind him, because he is their platform. And Republicans are ruthless. Are more ruthless than Democrats or liberals, I should say, whatever it be, because they'll sacrifice their own to get and keep power, to be in power. They don't care. So, okay, you know what? We'll put the adjudicated sexual assaulter. We'll put 34 felony person in office. We'll run them. We'll run him because he's our platform. You know, they don't. It's not about morals and values, which the party used to be about. It's not about that anymore. It's about we want power and we want to extract our white supremacist thinking on this country. And we'll use whoever we need to use to get there, to do it. And Trump is their vessel. I do honestly believe that. But yeah, this beautiful bill, yeah, it's not going to be good. It is not going to be good. And we're not even in year one yet. We're not even through the year yet. You know, so I think I know there's some more stuff coming down the tailpipe. So we just need to be ready. But that bill is gonna hurt a lot of folks. A lot of folks that need the benefits. And it's not just Democrat. And people got this notion. That's why I said that Republicans are ruthless. That bill just don't hurt just liberals and just blue states. That's going to hurt people in red states who are their constituents. They don't care.
Did you see all the ones that were begging people to make sure they voted down the ticket Democrat every time?
They did what now?
Anytime there's a vote, make sure you vote Democrat. And then when the next election come up, make sure you vote down the ticket.
Really? So the midterms going to be interesting. I can't wait till next year.
There were tons of Republican voters.
Really? Well, we tried to tell y'all beforehand. You know, people sounded the alarm. People told you.
I think it's crazy all the black people that were team against Kamala, and then like now trying to act like Trump's so bad. Like they weren't posting that stuff before. So why they knew this though ahead of time?
I mean, just like when me and Artemis was here and we had that discussion. You know, you got people that folks don't read anymore.
Most of the country is illiterate.
That's the problem. Folks don't read.
The sad part is they say most of the women in the country are illiterate.
Most of the women?
Oh yeah, I saw that somewhere. Well, I would say they were just saying how illiterate most women were, and women served a huge part of the voting percentage, and they were illiterate, and they kind of followed the suit of the men. Because they felt like the men were strong and understood what needs to be done.
I could.
Do you ever watch Jubilee?
No.
So there's this thing called Jubilee. So they kind of debate each other. So Candace Owens was on there, and this one lady, this influencer, she was talking to Candace Owens about that, and she was Candace Owens she was like, "You do understand that most women don't want their freedoms being taken away." And Candace Owens was trying to make her argument, and she was like, "You don't even make sense. You just following suit what you believe is true from white supremacists."
Or what you've heard, that those white supremacist talking points.
Yeah. Because she's married to a white man.
Candace Owens, you?
Yeah.
Why doesn't that surprise me? I don't even follow her. She's just ignorant to me.
Yeah, I don't follow her, but I have some discussion.
I just know she's
Because
ignorant.
now she's saying she's against Trump.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, because they worked so hard to get him voted.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that now. Anybody that was for him,
Told you exactly what he was gonna do.
Project 2025 labeled everything that they were doing. Everything they're doing right now with this taking DEI out of companies and rolling back discrimination things. It said it. He said it. And then he lied and said, "Well, I don't know what Project 2025. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You know what it was." And so anybody that's around here saying, "Oh, it's too much," I don't want to hear.
Oh yeah, I'm saying that because it was a statistic. I'm not saying it to be. I'm just saying that's what the stats were for this. Whatever data she pulled up, this particular lady was saying that most women are illiterate. You know, you might be saying most black women or something like that, but they said most women
Totally. Okay.
overall were illiterate, and their comprehension skills weren't there.
I mean, that's, like I said before, that's part of the reason why a lot of people are ignorant of the facts, are ignorant of what's going on. And a lot of times you don't have to even just read. You have radio stations. You got talk radio that talks about these things.
But you got to figure out which one is right, though.
Which one? That's true. That's true. I'm a really big proponent of listening to Sirius XM's Urban View. It has a really different mixture of hosts that come on there. They talk about a lot of different issues.
It says globally, nearly 2/3 of all illiterate adults are women.
Wow.
And I just looked up percentage of illiterate people, and it specified women. And again, this is all races.
All through all races. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's very unfortunate because again, then you have a lot of information that's being shared that was shared, and people are just not getting it because they can't comprehend to get it. And that's sad in itself.
This is globally, so
that's
this
globally.
is probably what the influencer was talking about.
Okay. We got any more comments? Any more questions?
She said anything with the word urban in it is bad. I don't feel like that.
Who said that?
Ashley.
Oh, Ashley, Lord. I see these men Ashley tonight. Okay.
Yeah, it says globally, which is sad. It says globally, approximately 63% of the world's illiterate adult population are women.
Wow. Interesting. I've never heard that
I
stat.
think it's interesting because think about it. Like in some countries, they feel like again the way that Project 2025 is written, women should be in the kitchen.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
most women don't have the opportunity to go to school. You know.
Well, I'm just saying, when I say interesting, I mean interesting that in this country that's something that's going on. I know I just viewed women differently here.
I mean,
So.
you might feel like a woman is smart, she's resourceful.
Oh yeah.
But
Because I've been around women like that all my life.
when it comes to but maybe this is where that piece comes in, right? Where it comes to making logical decisions. And sticking with that versus being emotional, I'm gonna go with what my husband is saying, or the strongest man in my life is saying. We might just appease to that.
I mean, I can see
versus
that.
men are gonna say, "I'm gonna take it for what I know to be true, or what I know to be right."
I see that. I know. I definitely see your point there.
Because women can be
Definitely see your
swayed
point.
that way.
But then that's, yeah. Some women.
No, a lot. Because there's a lot of women that say one thing and they do another.
True. Very true. Very true. Yeah, true.
And I don't, with the illiterate piece, again, it's more global. And I think that we talking about global versus like, if we broke it down in race, black women probably wouldn't fall under that category.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was saying. I'm like, I didn't. But you said it was global, so.
I believe
Adding in other countries.
Women in America are behind. I don't believe women in America are behind. No.
Yeah, that's what like shocking. I just don't see it. Because I see this, still too many women out here running companies, running their own businesses, CEOs, COOs of all these Fortune 500 companies, presidents of universities. I just see too much of it. You got women networks. I just see too much of that to be a thing here in the country. Oh, you got another question, I think.
Well, you can read it.
I can't really see it because my hold on, because if I hit that, see, it's gonna go.
Okay, because I have to look further. So it does say that black women are the most educated in the group in the USA.
See?
So that's what I was saying. So it says, according to the National Center for Education Statistics, the number of black women earning bachelor's degree has increased by 63% over the past 2 decades.
See, I knew it. I knew it.
I believe that.
I don't believe. I think the question was, do you believe women in America are behind? You see that question in there?
No, yeah, I said I don't.
Was that what you just answered? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was telling her I don't. And I went further to look. But I think she was talking about globally because she was saying, because of the things that Candace Owens was saying, she was, she just had to have rebuttal for her.
Got you. Okay, now I must cut the volume off that I can see the questions as they pop up too. Now, I just anything that has. Oh wait, I'm gonna go back to her Ashley's comment. Anything with the word urban in is bad. No, it's not.
No.
No, it's not. Listen, go on to it. It's on channel 36, 136.
What's that?
On Sirius XM. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. I'm gonna give you the channel, the number. Channel 126 on Urban View. And you can listen to it all day. They have a bunch of black hosts on there that gives different political perspectives. And it's Monday through Friday. Saturdays as well in the morning. Just listen to it first before we say it's bad, because it's not. Listen to it.
I don't think it's bad, but I think you have more to talk about.
Far as?
So much more regarding Trump.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We can get back on this.
I would love to have you with a guest that believes in Trump still.
I would too. I would love to have that dialogue.
That would be so interesting.
I would love that dialogue.
They
but
love talking stuff on social media.
they kills that cat. We call them keyboard bandits. They being keyboard bandits. Yeah. We got a whole lot. Them bombing Iran. That whole thing. Y'all.
Dictator.
I'm telling you right now. We have to realize. When you go over bombing other countries like that, especially places like Iran, Afghanistan, you go there bombing their country, those people are willing to die for their own cause.
Yeah, they have to be willing to die, for sure.
They are willing to die. So when you go around messing with people like that, again, 9/11 should have shown us, like, 93, they tried to bomb the World Trade Center by setting off a bomb in the parking lot there. So that failed. It didn't cause the damage that they wanted to. From 93 to 2001, they waited and they planned. And they waited and they planned and they waited and they planned. And then boom, here comes 9/11. We're gonna tear it down. We're gonna tear it down. We gotta be careful about that. You don't just go bombing countries just because you think we're just the biggest and baddest. Yeah, we might be the biggest, but other countries got some stuff that can do some harm to us. And I just really believe that was not a good move. He did it because Netanyahu in Israel asked him to and wanted him to. He needed the help. And here we are going into stuff we had no business getting involved in. So we gotta, them people are meticulous in their planning, and they are not afraid to die for their own causes. So that's countries and places and things I feel that we as a country should not be getting ourselves involved in. That Israel and Iran had their thing, they need to work that out. And we should have been over there bombing up their country, because now there's another target on our back.
All right, so tonight's takeaway is stay out of other countries' business.
Stay out of people's business.
And shout out, rest in peace, I'm sorry.
Yes.
To, officer.
And his family. We would definitely we give you the deepest condolences. We're praying. And I hope and pray that have a nice, long, relaxing recovery for Officer McCray that's been released from the hospital. Absolutely. Oh, and hold on. What is this? Hold on a second. Ashley got a question. Have you ever stood up for a cousin or sibling before, knowing they were in the wrong, but you still stood up for them? Israel uses Big Brother America, and Iran doesn't want to be controlled by the Jewish bankers. What does that have to do with us? We didn't need to go over there bombing them at all. That just was.
I don't feel like that was done in a light of doing what was right or Big Brotherish. I think
at all
that was done because he wanted to let was it Netanyahu?
Netanyahu, yes.
Know that I got your back. I'm your dog. Like that wasn't on anything logical.
No, at all. And let's get this in perspective. Netanyahu is making these wars up because he too is under criminal investigation in Israel.
Yeah, they want to get rid of him.
So he's making these wars and making all this stuff so he can stay in power. Yeah. So okay, why not have the U.S. go do some more stuff damage to him?
Strategic.
Yeah, strategic, and they know that. You know that.
She says Israel controls America. Like they didn't.
They have a line item in our budget. Israel has a line item in our budget, yes, but I don't believe that they control America. That's just my personal opinion.
All right. Well, next week I don't know what you have to give.
I'm sure something's gonna come up. We can talk about this beautiful bill line by line if you want to next week. Break it down.
I'm actually work and see if I can get someone that believes in the big beautiful bill to come in and talk with me.
And see what it hurts and what it don't. Yeah, definitely.
Because I'm okay. I'm not opposed to hearing other people's perspective.
At all. Me neither.
What if we just got it wrong? What if we overlooked the?
I don't think that's the case. But what if? Yeah. What if? So thank y'all for watching in. I know we was kind of scatterbrained tonight. We went from local news to baby oil to Iran to
baby oil.
Yeah, to now they do get billions each year. You know why? Holocaust. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna talk about that one. See, she want me to stay on top. Yeah, again, Israel is a line item in America's budget. So Israel will always get funding and provisions from America. That was before Trump, before Biden, before Obama. They've been a line item in U.S.'s budget for over 30, 40 years. Probably even longer than that. And that's just off the top of my head what I can think of. But she said they have America by the balls. It's probably possible. I ain't looked into it that deep, but I do know for a fact that Israel will always be supported by the U.S. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. I really don't. So, but yeah, we're gonna hopefully we can find some other people to come in next week and we can have some more discussions on this big beautiful bill and its impact, especially on our local communities, because it's going to hit hard and it's not going to be good. But again, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all have a good, safe evening, and be blessed. Y'all take care.